Hey there, thank you for clicking on my video. So I came across this and I have never seen anything like it. I never even knew they made something like it. And it is a microwave toaster combo. Like, isn't that wild? I never knew they did something like that. It's made by LG, but I figured I'd make a video and share this with y'all because I think it's interesting. It is really cold today. Hopefully my phone won't shut off. 34 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, I need to get heat in this shop. But anyways, also stick around to the end because I got a package from a subscriber and I want to share the cool stuff he sent me. This microwave, it weighs 33 pounds and is shred. That is $2.31. Surely we can do better than that. Okay, I just clipped the wires right there so then those ones will pull through without this getting hung up. Now, I don't know if a lot of you know this, but these microwaves are designed to replace this motor if they burn out. And then you can take this, stick it into the slots, take one of your screws, and it's back together. These are all just plastic gears, so that's just garbage, unfortunately, unless you can recycle hard plastic. I can't. Pull off these little pieces of brass. Get that off, and now our spool of copper is in here. And there's our nice little copper. This is going to be number 2 copper. Some of the prettiest copper you'll ever find, but boy, I tell you what, it's almost as light as air. Now we need to take the cover off, and you can see microwaves have a security bit on here. You can get really inexpensive kits. Like this kit right here, it came from Harbor Freight. I think I paid $9.99 for it. No, this is not a sponsored video. I've only broken one bit, so pretty good deal for 10 bucks. If you don't have any security bit, just grind the head off of these screws, and then they'll come off. Or you can just use your claw into your hammer and then just pound on in this, and this sheet metal will just tear. But yeah, I mean, it pretty much just looks like your standard microwave. There's the toaster. I'm hoping, with it being a toaster and a microwave, that the transformer will at least have one copper coil. But we'll find out. Right here, we have the capacitor. On microwaves, you want to be very careful with those. This little doohickey right here is supposed to bleed off any extra energy after the microwave is off or unplugged. If you unplug them, after a while, the capacitor will bleed off the energy as well. Sometimes they'll malfunction, and these little capacitors carry quite a jolt. All you got to do is just, clip the wires. Basically, what you want to avoid is from touching these two terminals together. Just don't touch those together with your fingers or your hands and you'll be fine. So I just leave that there. That just stays in a shred. This one looks like it's going to be aluminum, which it is. But the bottom one here can often be copper. So, you know, you open up the microwave, you give it a quick check. Because if it is copper, then you're looking at, you know, at least £1. You know, and depending on what your prices are for copper, you know, there's $3, $4, $5. And that is copper. So, woohoo! These are the 4 screws that hold the transformer. So we just do a little zippity-doo-dah. The goose is loose. Just get a little clipping action going on here. Okay. Oh, good news, everybody. We're up to 36 degrees. Man. Let's get some wires out of the way. Oh, hello. Sorry about that. Bumping into my tripod. Okay, so we got 1 screw, and there's another screw hiding. There you are. Missed it. Missed it. Got it. All right. Aha! Woo, baby. Baby, baby. Let's go ahead and just do a little quick clipping action here. These wires are going to have to get clipped anyways. Come on. There we are. And this is just a little power board. You've got some nice relays right here that contain brass, copper, and silver contacts. I've got some videos on those, so I'll link those in the description. And of course, a transformer. And these little boxes, sometimes they can be relays. Sometimes there's something else filled with epoxy. Let's find out. Where'd it go? Aha! Okay, we see we have a plastic bottom, so this is another relay. So we'll just finish that off and then have a closer look at this toaster part. So, well, that just broke. Anyways, sometimes there's a socket on the end of that, and it's brass. These connections will be brass, so it's worth saving if you're a micro scrapper. Of course, if you're not a micro scrapper, you're probably not going to be scrapping a microwave anyways. You want to get this switch right here because, again, silver contacts in those switches with a little bit of brass and a little bit of copper in those. Or just get your fingers and pull off that fan blade. There's the screw. Let me get my drill in the way. That's pretty good. That's totally in the way. That's like high quality recording right there. Sometimes it just happens though. Y'all are so awesome that you never complain to me. But we'll get this little motor off because 99% of the time they are copper. And there's that neat little motor. I really like these. I'm not going to worry about the heating elements. Most of the time, they are made from Inconel. Although most scrap yards only buy them as stainless steel. What I'm doing here is these wires are connected to some pieces of brass. So I'm just going to salvage what I can. The amount of weight you get from the heating elements and all the monkey work I'd have to do to remove this is just not worth the squeeze for me. Okay, I got the rest of the wire. There was 2 more of these little switches on there, so we got that. Now you might be thinking, oh, but what about the display? Isn't there a silver mylar? You also might be like asking, well, what's a silver mylar? This is a silver mylar, and these are on like the control pads, you know, where all your buttons are. And apparently this is all silver traces, but these weigh like nothing. And I don't know the exact numbers, but it takes thousands of these to make any sort of significant weight. That's just not a type of silver recovery that I'm into. But if you are, that is what you would be going after. Is it worth the trouble? Well, that's up for you to decide. Okay, there is a look at all the goodies from inside the microwave. I'm going to be breaking down this stuff here real quickly. I just wanted to give you an overview. There is all the stuff that I clipped off the ends of the wires. And of course the copper from earlier. But yeah, not too bad at all. Okay, so on these, there's multiple ways. I have a video showing you, I think, 4 different ways. Sometimes there's a little notch on this end, and if that's the case, you can put it in the vise sideways like that and squeeze it, and then it'll open up this end, and then this will fall out. But those aren't there, so I find it easier just to put it in the vise like that. And there it is. Even though 99% of the time these are copper, I still like to always check, and it's copper. You get yourself one of these snips right here. They're quite handy. And then you can just cut all the way along. You just turn it over and just pry all your copper out. Super simple. But we don't want to leave behind this copper. I know some of you probably have already seen this, but there's always new people coming to my channel. Again, I will link the video in the description showing you, if I remember right, it's 4 different methods on getting the copper removed from these. I tell you, these are a lot easier to do when you don't have a camera right in your way. And that's how you do it. I'll get that last piece of copper. There's all the goodies out of one of these switches. There's some silver contacts, these little pieces of copper. I have a video showing you how to remove the contacts. They're quite simple. On these ones, we have a seam right here, so there's 2 pieces of plastic, and then we've got these little like slots. I just stick in the screwdriver and then give it a twist, and that opens up that seam. You just pry your lid off, and then all of the goodies come out. And that is everything from one. So you can see there's a contact right there, and then there's a little contact right there, copper, and then the rest is going to be brass. At my scrapyard, they don't care. If the contact's still left on there, they'll still buy it as clean yellow brass. So if you don't want to fiddle with that, just throw them into your brass or your copper. 99% of the time, these are going to be brass. They're just coated in nickel. You can see that yellow coming through right there. And like I mentioned earlier, if you warm these up, it's a lot easier to pull them out. It's been in my pocket. I don't know if that's going to be enough, but we'll just get what we can get today. Yeah, they're really, really stiff, but that one came out. Some folks like to put these into boiling water, and they call that plug soup, and it works tremendously well. Well, that one just broke, leaving behind the copper, but that's okay. I actually like to just set these out on a tray and let the sun heat it up. Of course, this time of year, there really isn't enough heat in the sun to do that. So I'm just going to go ahead and clip the copper off there with my awesome Knipex. I don't know if you saw my community post, but once I reach 25,000 subscribers, I'm going to be giving away a brand new pair of these to one lucky subscriber. And it'll be open to anybody in the world as long as you are subscribed to my channel. And I will pay the shipping. I think right now I just reached 22,000 subscribers. So thank you to everyone. So it shouldn't be long before we get to 25. So there we are. A little bit of brass, a little bit of copper. Okay, we got the circuit boards here. We still have the magnetron and the transformer to get. So this is a fuse, and the ends are brass, and then there's a piece of brass running through the middle. I just throw those into dirty brass. But then the fuse holders, these are all little pieces of brass, so we want to get those for sure. Pretty simple, just squeeze and twist. Squeeze and twist. These little blue things are often referred to as blue M&Ms because they kind of have the shape of an M&M. I was told that there's a little bit of silver in there. I collect them. I don't know if it's really worth it, but that's one thing I do collect, unlike the silver mylar. Okay, now we get this little copper toroid. Although you do want to check these because every once in a while these will actually be aluminum. I know it's ridiculous, but I've done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these, and I've found one to be aluminum. So not too bad. And the rest of that goes into the shred. We already pulled off that relay. I'll get the second one there. Pliers work great to pry these off if there was enough gap between them. And right in here, these are the little things that make all that obnoxious beeping noises on microwaves. That is a little piece of brass. Now, a lot of times you can just get a screwdriver under there and just pry it off, but I find when they're on the edge of the board, they end up just breaking the board. So I just clip the parts that are going into the circuit board where it's soldered. And there we are. I'll check these leads. Those are magnetic, so the rest of that will just go into the shred. I've got a video on the relays, so I will link that in the description. Now these toroids, this one is coated in plastic. When they're not coated in plastic, you just crunch this and then you can just kind of just unspool all the copper. Actually, you know what? I'm going to try something here. All right, I mean, okay, so that works. I'll just tell you this, there really is no wrong way to scrap. Whatever works for you, whatever that keeps you the safest as possible because we don't want to get injuries, because, you know, sometimes we use grinders and whatnot. But the name of the game is to get the metals separated. So however you want to do it, you do it. Okay, that worked. Or what I was going to show you is if you can get it started. It's a little bit more work. You can just, you know, unspool it from its wrap right here. This is really good stuff to do. Like if you're just sitting down and, you know, you're watching Scrapitall on YouTube, you know, you could just fiddle with these. Or, you know, you're sitting down watching a movie or whatever. Go ahead and clip that. Yeah, you get the gist of it. There's lots of ways to do these. I am going to use a chisel. Just have it clamped into your vise pretty well. These are just really cheap wood chisels. And then you just flip it over. You just get your screwdriver underneath. And there it is. You got your copper out. Now that can go into prepared steel at my yard. Maybe shred at your yard. Now you just need to get the copper removed, which is no big deal at all. I really like that chisel method on these small transformers. They work incredibly well, as you just saw. So he's got to, you know, clean all the plastic away, and depending on how fussy your scrapyard is, get the tape removed. Mine is fussy. They want it cleaned. These I'm just scraping with a sharp tool, and you can just get it separated from the tape. And there's our lovely piece of copper number 2. And time for the magnetron. This little thing right here is brass. We'll go ahead and we will pull this cap off because there's some copper inside. Right here. So you just clip right there, clip right there, and then just give it a tug. And then you can clip it right there. And there's our clean piece of copper. It's kind of satisfying. And those are little ferrite cores, so they'll just go into the shred along with the cap. There's lots of different ways of doing it, whatever works best for you. There's a little piece of metal right here. I bend it. Sometimes it bends really easily. Other times it just doesn't want to cooperate, like this one. Probably doesn't look like much, but now there is actually a gap between here. And then you can just pry it and then just pull that lid off. Ow! Oh no, I broke my magnet. Oh well, that's okay. I got tons of them. Now the rest of that goes into shred. These ends right here are magnetic, so we just leave those behind. Just got to get that cap off there. There we go. Now the magnet comes out. Sometimes these caps are stainless steel, and that one's going to be stainless. And then you can just kind of just work it around, pull the little cap off, and that's stainless. That top piece right there is copper, and it goes through the center of this magnetron connecting into the middle. Now this is where things get a little controversial. The ceramic ends, they used to use what was called beryllium oxide in the manufacturing of residential microwaves. They don't do that anymore because there are much cheaper alternatives out there. But this stuff, if you break it and you turn it into a dust form or any sort of fine particles and inhale it, that is extremely bad for your health. But, like I said, you can do your own research. Other scrappers will back me up. They haven't been using beryllium oxide for a long time. Now, even if it was beryllium oxide, like I mentioned, it's actually only dangerous if you inhale it into your lungs. So, just an added measure of precaution. Just wrap some tape around it. So if you accidentally do break it, turning into small particles, it ain't going anywhere. These fins are aluminum, so we want to go ahead and remove those. Sometimes they just easily come off of this magnetron here. Sometimes they don't. And so when they don't, because aluminum is so soft, you just give it a little cut, a little tear. That one came off by itself. And there it is. And it's that centerpiece that is copper. These end pieces are steel. And there's a piece inside of here that will look like copper, but it's actually copper-coated steel. So just check it with your magnet. I have a video showing you how to do these, so I'll link that in the description. All right, let's get the copper out of here. Now on microwave transformers, this is just actually a random thought. I was watching this cooking video and this lady said, just go ahead and heat your butter up in the microwave. And I'm like, microwave? What is she talking about? I'm like, oh, microwave. I've never heard a microwave called microwave. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. We have a welded seam right here. So all you have to do is break this seam. You can use a cold chisel. You can just start banging on right here with a hammer. You can take your angle grinder, cut into that weld. But my buddy Nice Drunk was saying, just beat that with a hatchet. So I'm going to give it a try. I think it's working. Well, there you go. Nice Drunk. You were right. I will link his channel in the description. Now again, prepare to steel at my yard. Maybe shred at yours. You just leave that loose in there. That darn piece is bottoming out on my vise. Oh, cool. They just broke off. Now it'll work. These are just spacers and there's steel in the middle, so those just go into the shred. A little bit of insulated wire. Now this is the coil that is copper. Depending on your yard, will determine how much you need to clean up all this tape and paper. It really doesn't weigh a lot, and it's number 2 copper, so I don't know why they're so fussy about it, but some of them can be really fussy. Now that's aluminum. We'll just get that cleaned up, and then that will just go into old sheet aluminum at my yard. And just bashing on it, it'll help break up some of this tape and some of this plastic. So we just pound see, that helps break it up. You just have to kind of work all that tape and plastic away from itself. If you don't have to clean all this stuff off, that's great for you because it's less work. But yeah, that is the gist of it. All right, and now there we are. Now that's going to be clean enough for my scrapyard. Again, you just need to know your scrapyard because everyone operates a little bit differently. This is going to be copper number 2, but I don't know. That's probably close to a pound, I bet. All right, there is everything that we recovered from that microwave. So we were left with 29 pounds of shred. So that is $2.03. Then we have the insulated wire. There's 50 cents in that. Over here is the old sheet aluminum. 7.35 ounces for 20 cents. That stuff I didn't scrap. I saved those for more winter work, which is coming here quickly. Dirty brass, and then the stainless steel. I didn't weigh those. They're probably maybe a half a cent, but it does add up. Over here is the clean yellow brass, 1.5 ounces for 18 cents. And then our lovely copper number 2, and there is the core of the magnetron. And we have 1 pound, 4.2 ounces of copper number 2 for $4.16, giving us a grand total of $7.07 for scrapping out that microwave. It was $2.31 a shred, so that is a difference of $4.76. So not bad. That was definitely a little bit different than a normal microwave because of that toaster. All right, now let's go check out that package a subscriber sent me. Okay, subscriber, we'll just call him MBF. You know who you are. Thank you so much for sending me this package. That was just so nice and generous of you. So let's have a look. The first thing he sent me was a Bible, so that's really awesome. So thank you, buddy, for that. I really appreciate it. It's a study Bible. Oh. Yeah. Thanks, buddy. Although I don't think this was an intentional gift. Who doesn't like bubble wrap? Anyways, moving on. We got some gloves here. Always can use more gloves, so again, thank you. What's this? That, I'm not entirely sure, but basically it just looks like it's some sort of power supply. So scrap, gotta love that. This thing is really cool. This is some sort of vacuum interrupter from a 3-phase system. Some nice chunks of copper. I'm not sure what this outside casing is made out of. I'm going to guess stainless steel. Let's see what else is in here. We got... well, these are some sort of... probably some sort of relay. Like off of automobiles or something. We'll have to include some of these in a micro-scrapping video soon. This is really nice. Are all copper lugs. That's a whole bag of copper goodness. Wow, this would be so expensive to buy. These are all brand new stainless steel screws. These are going to go to my dad because he uses stainless steel. He does all sorts of kind of work, and including on boats and whatnot. That's pretty much it. I think that bag broke open and some of the stainless screws fell out. But I just wanted to say thank you so much. for all of these awesome, wonderful gifts. I look forward to opening up this and some of these. Yeah, maybe we'll save these for like a microscoping video along with some other stuff. But yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. If anybody wants to send me something, just email me. The email is in the description of this video and also on the About section of my homepage. If you email me, I will give you my mailing address. But I just want to say thank you for watching this video. I greatly appreciate all of your support. I hope you're all doing really, really well. And again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button because it does help my video a lot, and I really appreciate that. God, thank you for a wonderful day. God, I just thank you for all the blessings you brought into my life, Lord. And God, I just lift up anybody watching this right now who is just dealing with a broken heart, God. I pray that you will just heal their broken heart. Your word says that you are close to the brokenhearted, God. And I believe that. And so, God, I just pray that you will just draw close to these people who have maybe just recently gone through a breakup or a divorce, or maybe just lost somebody, lost a loved one, and their heart is broken right now, God. So I just lift them up to you and ask that you will just comfort them and you will just heal them. In the name of Jesus, I pray. Amen. All right, my friends. Until next video, God bless you.